Where does the quote, as I'm calling it, pick any crime, don't worry about being unanimous instruction rank on your list of reversible error on appeal? Because looking at this as a former lawyer but an interested observer, it seems like almost everything this judge has done can be and should be reversed on appeal. Your thoughts?
Welcome back, Warriors. It's me, Linda B. Thank you all so much for joining me here today. Today, as we all know, the jury is deliberating in the Trump hush money trial. Yes, we're going to talk about that today, and you all give me your thoughts. But before we get started, I want to pause for a word from Childlight Candles. See the link in the description, childlightcandles.com, and input the discount code Linda B. Now let's get into it.
Jury deliberations resume at 9:30 this morning for Trump's New York trial. The verdict could be handed down today after jurors requested to re-examine several key pieces of testimony. That includes David Pecker's testimony regarding a phone conversation with Donald Trump, Pecker's testimony about the decision not to finalize and fund the assignment of Karen McDougal's life rights, his testimony regarding a key 2015 Trump Tower meeting when he allegedly hatched a conspiracy with Trump and Michael Cohen to help get Trump elected, and Cohen's testimony regarding that same Trump Tower meeting. Nima Rahmani is a former federal prosecutor and the president of the West Coast Trial Lawyers. He joins me now. Nima, read the tea leaves for us. Why would the jury want to revisit that specific testimony?
Todd, reading the tea leaves here, this is good for the prosecution, and this is why. We know the state called David Pecker as their first witness. So when you're a prosecutor, you want to start strong and end strong. And he's the one that directly implicates Donald Trump with this catch-to-kill scheme. So the fact that the jurors are asking for this readback leads me to believe that at least some of them are convinced of Donald Trump's guilt, and they're trying to convince those remaining jurors, whether they're on the fence or they're holdouts.
Why do you think the jury wanted the jury instructions, reread to them?
Well, most states, including our federal system, allows those jury instructions to go back into the jury deliberation room with them. New York is unique in that it doesn't. And we heard Judge Juan Merchan read those instructions yesterday, and there were some very important ones. The most important of which was that we know that the business records have to be false, but they have to be in furtherance of or to cover up another crime. And Judge Juan Merchan laid out a few possibilities. We've talked about election fraud. We've talked about campaign finance violations. And we've also talked about tax fraud. So we know that there's 2 lawyers on this panel, and those lawyers are likely leading those deliberations. So they want to sort through those instructions and make sure that they hold the prosecution to their burden in this case.
Here are the possible outcomes as it stands now. Conviction on all 34 counts of felony falsification of business records, conviction on some counts, acquittal on others, acquittal on all counts, or a hung jury. If he's convicted, Nima, where does the quote, as I'm calling it, pick any crime, don't worry about being unanimous instruction rank on your list of reversible error on appeal? Because looking at this as a former lawyer but an interested observer, it seems like almost everything this judge has done can be and should be reversed on appeal. Your thoughts?
Before he gives his thoughts, let me give my thoughts. This is a sham. You all know that, right? To tell the jury they do not have to unanimously agree. What? Who does that? The jury always has to unanimously agree. Now everybody should be able to see through this, especially when you think about other crimes other people have committed, which are far worse than this. They are really trying to keep Donald Trump out of the White House. He needs to get in, because we are headed towards communism if he does not, because the Dems just won't let go. They just won't let go. The only thing that's going to break through is prayer. That's right, because we can't control what people do. But I always like to say, God is in control. All of the calls, all of so called falsification of business records. Give me a break.
Well, it's certainly an appellate issue, but I don't necessarily think it's reversible error, and this is why. I know the former president is unhappy, but if they were separately charged counts, then absolutely, the jury would have to be unanimous, whether it's tax fraud, election fraud, or campaign finance violation. But if you look at New York law, it just requires that the business records be false and in furtherance of another crime. So as long as the jurors unanimously agree that another crime was committed and the business records furthered or covered it up, that should be enough for New York appellate courts. But again, it does create an appellate issue. Ultimately, I don't think the former president will be remanded to custody or sentenced to prison regardless of the outcome in this case, even if he's convicted of all felony counts. So this will just be one additional issue in Trump's appellate team can turn to when they appeal a conviction, if any.
Yeah, the other one, I think, being the main one being, hey, we didn't know what we had to defend against until literally the summation, and that's not right. Before we let you go.
Oh, these people want to keep Donald Trump out of that White House. Oh, they don't want us to vote for him. But you know what? Even if he goes to prison, we can still vote for him, and we will vote for him. He will just run he'll just run the country from prison. That's what he'll do. He'll just run the country from prison. You know, but he's not going to jail. He's not going to be convicted. None of this is going to happen. I have to just believe that, and you all have to believe it too. What do you think about what the judge said, Judge Merchan? That you do not have to unanimously agree. That is wrong, and it shows that he's not credible as a judge. That's what it shows. It shows that he's in somebody's pocket. It shows that he's being used to go after Donald Trump no matter what on these trumped up charges. Now, they really want Donald Trump because they know that there's a possibility he could come after them. But I think he's the kind of person that, will be too busy trying to make the country better. But in my opinion, the country is better when people who actually commit crimes are held accountable, not people where we are wasting taxpayer money, wasting time, other things that deserve attention more are not being attended to because we're too busy going after a political opponent that scares the poop out of us. Donald Trump scares them. He scares them because he wants to clean house once he gets to the White House. You all tell me what you think about this. I just feel, this is very telling for the judge to say that. This is very telling. And people who are paying attention are like, wait a minute. They have to unanimously agree. Wait a minute. He said they don't have to unanimously agree on what the other crime is. They have to unanimously agree, guys. Tell me your thoughts. Well, thank you all so much for watching. Thank you all so much. I really appreciate it. Don't forget to like, comment, share, subscribe, hit the notification bell. I'm on my way to 30,000 subscribers. Miraculously, by the end of this month, I need about 1,400 more subscribers by the end of the day tomorrow. Really share my videos, like, comment, so that the YouTube algorithm pushes it out. I really need your help, guys. I'm falling a little short here. But you all be blessed. Love God, your families, and as I always say, march on, warriors.